The Clippers really did it. The Clippers did the unthinkable in getting Russell Westbrook on the Los Angeles Clippers uniform. And a lot of people are very uncomfortable with getting Russell Westbrook, and I don't blame them. I'm also one of those people who is pretty skeptical about getting Russell Westbrook. Um, Throughout my past videos, I've been I've been pretty much like against getting Russell Westbrook. I would rather stick to what we have with Eric Gordon and Bones Highland. And Gordon, especially considering that he got 7 assists and 0 turnovers, which kind of made me question why are we going for Westbrook, who's going to take minutes from not only Eric Gordon, also Bones Highland, who's a very high upside shooter and that could push the pace as well. And most importantly, he could potentially be taking minutes from Terrence Mann. So I'm pretty skeptical about this move, but I hope Russell Westbrook can prove me wrong. And there is a chance that he could prove me wrong. I hope that's the case because that man is playing for his career right now. If he messes up this year, it's pretty much done for the NBA, to be honest. It's kind of like a Carmelo Anthony situation all over again. But in this video, I'm going to lay out the pros and the cons. Of course, I'm leaning towards, the cons just because I'm I don't know, I'm still pretty uncomfortable with the what we did, but anyways, let's knock out the cons first and let's try to save the best for last. So the major con is obviously he's very turnover prone and his IQ is not known to be the best. 7.5 assists, and then a 3.5 turnover ratio, but which is pretty. I would say it's definitely pretty not really good for a point guard. But if you look at his game log, it's definitely even worse because if some games, yeah, he does have good games when he gets 0 turnovers. If we get this version of Russell Westbrook that doesn't turn the ball over like more than 3 times, I would definitely be cool with that. But the thing is, though, he's not known to be a pretty good shooter, and he turns the ball over a lot. Just his his last game he played, he got 6 turnovers and 8 assists. So that assist and turnover ratio is definitely not looking pleasing. And also if you even go back down, so 6 turnovers, 5 turnovers, 7 turnovers against the Denver Nuggets. So the Clippers are definitely playing with fire with getting Russell Westbrook. Just gotta hope the fire turns towards our favor and we could use the fire as a weapon and not a fire to screw us over. And his shooting is not definitely not pretty good as well too. Um, 5 for 15, 4 for 14. He does have good games, and so that I could use that as a pro. Like sometimes he has pretty good games, and hopefully the Clippers could bring the good out of him. But man, 12% from the field, man, 2 for 16. That's awful. That is pretty awful, and that's what just makes me pretty skeptical of getting Russell Westbrook. And also, what's even worse is we did it in the middle of the season. If we did it in the beginning of the season, I would be like, okay, it's still pretty risky, but at least worst case scenario, if he doesn't work out, we could just like get rid of him, cut him. But no, we did this in the middle of the season, around like mid February, and it's only 4 months towards June if we do even make it to the finals, and just not even a full 2 months for the NBA playoffs. So that is definitely a massive gamble, and we just gotta hope for the best. He is a Los Angeles Clipper, so now I guess we gotta show our support for him, and I don't know, but ride with his success and ride with his failure. But that's definitely two major cons. He's definitely not known for his shooting, and he's not known for his IQ and his turnovers. And you would see highlights left and right of him throwing the worst bricks in the world. Like, come on now. Like, he would just hit like all clear backboard. He would just throw straight up air balls and straight up is a turnover machine, which the Clippers are already pretty bad with turnovers already, and Paul George turns the ball over a lot, so it could either be very bad for us or it could actually be pretty solid for us because now Paul George doesn't have to be the primary ball handler, but now instead it's Russell Westbrook. So we could either get two turnover machines on the floor, or it could just like offset the bad with the good and make Paul George better and Russell Westbrook. Yeah, he still turns the ball over, but he could somehow make Westbrook and Kawhi better and Zubac better. But again, two of the major cons. But now the third con is what my actual biggest of the biggest problem is he's gonna take minutes from someone, and the minutes he's most likely gonna take from is Bones Highland, Terrence Mann, and Eric Gordon. Terrence Mann. That man is definitely pretty smart with the ball. He's not the flashiest passer, but at the same time, he isn't a turnover machine, and he gives it his all on defense. And he always has the IQ and doesn't make terrible decisions. Eric Gordon, who's a new addition, but he definitely shows that he could definitely pass the ball pretty well, and he got a seven assists and zero turnover ratio against the Phoenix Suns, which is pretty damn impressive. And he can pull from the long bomb, unlike Russell Westbrook, who's known to turn the ball over a lot of times, and he's definitely not known for his shooting. And then he's also going to take minutes from Bones Highland, who's a very high upside offensive weapon for the Clippers team who could pull from the long bomb as well too. Yes, I know he didn't have the best versus the Phoenix Suns, but if you're gonna really use Bones Highland to say, hey, Russell Westbrook is better than him, then Russell Westbrook has way worse games than Bones Highland. And Bones Highland, at least he could shoot very good, and he brings in the energy. And he also, they say, oh, the Clippers don't have a point guard, but Gordon and Highland, especially Highland, he definitely pushes the pace pretty well. So that's another major, massive con of getting Russell Westbrook. And I don't know how Ty Lue's going to use him. I hope he doesn't overplay him or just use him in the wrong rotations. Like, I don't know, just straight up starting Westbrook over Terrence Mann and then have him mess everything up. But that's definitely a major concern to look into getting Russell Westbrook. So that's my three major concern. But now let's get to the pros. Now the pros is kind of the same thing, and it's who's he's going to take minutes from. Now if Ty Lue still starts Terrence Mann with Russell Westbrook, it's a possibility. If you just straight up switch Russell Westbrook with Marcus Morris, do maybe Russell Westbrook at the point, Terrence Mann at the two, Paul George at the three, Kawhi Leonard at the four, and then Zubac at the five. That could work. That could work. That is if you want to start Russell Westbrook, but obviously I don't want to start him immediately for sure because he got to earn it, in my personal opinion. But if we decide to just suddenly bench Marcus Morris for Russell Westbrook, it may not be the worst thing in the world after all, because the Clippers would definitely upgrade for rebounding and defense if we decide to start Russell Westbrook for Marcus Morris. But of course, you're gonna get less shooting, obviously. Well, to an extent, and you're gonna get you're definitely gonna get more turnovers. But there's always their pros and cons. So you're gonna get more rebounding, which the Clippers definitely could use, and you could definitely use a guy who could hustle the ball more, unlike Marcus Morris, who would sometimes be a traffic cone on defense and even rebounding too. The crazy part is if you look at Marcus Morris' stats compared to Russell Westbrook gets, I believe, 2.5 more rebounds than Marcus Morris, Russell Westbrook is only like 6'3", and Morris is 6'8". which is pretty much crazy, by the way. So you definitely could get more rebounds, and you definitely could have more hustle if you just decide to sub out Russell Westbrook for, I don't know, Marcus Morris. That could work, but I just do not want Russell Westbrook just straight up being taking Terrence Mann's spot like that. Because Terrence Mann, come on, he definitely earned it. And if Ty Lue decides to to do the unthinkable and just straight up um take take Russell Westbrook instead of Marcus Morris, you can still try to find minutes for Bones Highland. To be honest with you, because Russell Westbrook and Bones Highland, they're like the only consider it to be the truer point guards for the team. The NBA is getting positionless, however, and Terrence Mann could just play his natural position, be the shooting guard, and then Gordon could kind of play the natural position. So you could still manage to find ways to get Highland and Gordon minutes, and maybe just DNP someone else, which is I don't that could be an option. So and also the major pros, I guess. Well, for Paul George at least is Paul George has been vouching for Russell Westbrook to come to the Los Angeles Clippers. So Paul George, this better pay off, and you better ball out. And the time when Paul George was the MVP candidate, he had Russell Westbrook on his team. So if that Paul George can can emerge because Russell Westbrook is doing that, I would hope that happens. And like I said, I hope he proves me wrong. I just hope he proves me wrong. And then another pro is the Clippers are successful at reviving players who are considered to be washed compared to other franchises. Nicholas Batum, he was considered to be to pretty much be out of the league back in 2019 toward 2020, and then all of a sudden now Batum is pretty much a huge X factor for the Los Angeles Clippers. And then um, Reggie Jackson, I think it was 2019, yeah, 2019, 2020, around there. Um, the Clippers decided to go with Marcus Morris. I mean, not Marcus Morris. I meant Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson, he was also considered to be out of the league as well too. But then all of a sudden, he turned out to be a very key player in the 2021 playoffs, and now he's more on a bigger platform, and more people know who he is. Before he was just considered to be a role player, but now we definitely jacked up his platform up pretty well. So, so if anything, it could be possible that Russell Westbrook could work out for us. But overall, um, is we'll just see what happens. And you can also add that Russell Westbrook is pretty much healthy, and he doesn't really sit out games. Although that could be to a fault if Russell Westbrook is the reason why we lose. But overall, this was definitely a pretty risky acquisition considering what Russell Westbrook is known for. And throughout the games, I would definitely do my best to treat Russell Westbrook like how we treat other players. And if he does bad, I don't want to just violently bash him like how Lakers fan would do. But at the same time, though, it is a very skeptical move. Very, very skeptical move. But of course, I'll be objective. I'll be critical. But of course, I'm not gonna be. I'll do my best not to be a Lakers fan and just I don't know, just say the most vile stuff towards Westbrook. But to end this video, Russell Westbrook, prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong, bro. Just please prove us wrong and show us that you're that guy. I'm crossing my finger that I hope that Russell Westbrook still has some firepower in him and him just going to the Los Angeles Clippers will get extra motivation to use his energy to help us win the championship. And oh boy, this is just a crazy, crazy move. And anyways, I'm definitely excited to hear what y'all think in the comment sections because it's gonna be really wild. But anyways, have a great day. Much love. Peace.